Welcome back to The Last Line with me, Cheater Cage Ryan. Sorry it's been a while since I've posted, but I had a rough couple of games, and I was digging the puck out of my net more than I was able to talk. Today, I want to talk about my family and my kids, because they are here today. There they were. So my family consists of course, myself, my wife, and two boys, a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old. So I'm going to call my 6-year-old, I'm going to call him S. I'm going to call my 3-year-old B. S and B. Those are my boys. I can already hear them up there talking trash. I met my wife back in high school at band camp. Insert American Pie joke here. We became best friends, and once I graduated, we started dating. Before we got married, we both knew that we may not be able to have children of our own due to medical reasons. We looked at all the options, whether if we had kids of our own. I got sweat in my eye already. It's extra hot in here, so I'm going to be sweating a lot. We looked at the different types of adoptions we could do, whether we wanted to go overseas to adopt or go through an adoption agency or go through the foster system. We ended up deciding on the foster system. Went through all the classes, background checks, all that kind of stuff. Once we were officially certified to be foster parents, we went on a vacation. We called it our baby moon. When we got back, we officially said, all right, we're ready to take placements. November 5th was like any other day. We got up, went to work. I think we even had plans for that evening. A little bit after lunchtime, my wife calls me, says, we got the call. 2 boys. Just turned 4 and 7 months. I freaked out. I didn't know what to do. First thing I did was I stopped working completely. I was useless the rest of the day. Nothing done. I told everybody. Then I called my dad and told him. I went to my supervisor, told her what was happening, and said, hey, I know this is really short notice, but can I take the rest of the week off so I can help the boys settle in? And of course she said yes. I have a very supportive supervisor. So I leave work and go straight to the DCBS office, and I get to meet these boys. B, at the time, 7 months, couldn't even sit up on his own from the neglect, and S had no speaking skills. My wife at the time was the only one with the car seats. She took both the boys. I went straight to Walmart, picked up formula, diapers, and brought them home. B was screaming and crying and trying to talk and very personable but shy. Let me just tell you how awesome my wife is. Well, she had a friend come over that night to, of course, meet the boys, but also kind of help out a little bit. And once the boys were in bed, she let me go to my hockey game that night. So I went and played hockey for the first time as a dad, and I got blown away. It was one of the worst games of my life. because we were fostering through the state, we had a lot of resources at our disposal, and we used them. A lot of physical therapy for B, a lot of speech therapy for S. All of a sudden, these boys who were both born with heroin in their system and were neglected started to thrive. B began to grow like a weed. He went from a really small, skinny baby to a little porker who loved to eat. And S started growing too, shot up like a rocket, and was speaking and starting to get his sounds together and put words and sentences together. And they thrived. It was amazing. The hardest part about it wasn't becoming a dad of 2 overnight. It was going through the whole court process. For the first 6 or 7 months of the foster placement, we had to see the birth parents every week. Now, my wife and I took turns doing it, so I really saw it every other week. But that was difficult, knowing that we were nurturing and raising these 2 boys of this couple that still loved them. They just made bad choices in their past and couldn't get their life together. And seeing their pain as we drove away with their boys every week was hard. I've had a few commenters on the internet, I mean, you know how much you can listen to them, tell me that they hope I fail and hope something happens where I get the kids taken away and blah blah blah, this, that. And I had to explain to them, I don't hope I fail. I hope that the parents get their lives together and make it so that they can earn these kids back. And as much as I loved their kids, which were becoming mine, and as much as they aggravated me with some of their actions, I had to love them also. My wife and I prayed for them constantly. The parents originally started out loving us. We were the best placement these kids have been in. They're growing so much, in your care, and they seem so happy. But when the time came for them to lose their rights, their attitudes changed very quickly. We quickly became the bad guys. Oh, they're doing this wrong. B's feet are too fat. And yes, I did say, they said B's feet were too fat. Since we're talking about the boys, we'll go up and get a fist bump from both of them. Hey, I like hearing you guys cheer for me, okay? Keep being loud. The birth parents started disappearing for weeks at a time, claiming that they were in rehab and all that other stuff. Come to find out, they were arrested once. When the day came to terminate the rights, the mom wanted to do it. I want to do it voluntarily, because if I do it voluntarily, I have better opportunity to keep kids that I have in the future. The dad was, I don't want to do this. That's my kid. I shouldn't be involved in this. Blah, blah, blah. He was a very aggressive person. And the judge was getting fed up with it. Their games, him being aggressive, that kind of stuff. They finally both agreed to voluntarily terminate their rights. And we were able to keep custody of the boys until the adoption was final. And then that took a god-awful amount of time for us to finally just get the court date to officially adopt the boys. Fun fact about the whole process, one of my teammates on my old team was a lawyer for adoptions. Used to work as They call it a GAL. And he did the adoption for us, which was pretty awesome that God put him in our life when he did. So now we're one big family. I can still hear B up there talking trash. I love it. I'll just see if I can post a video of him talking trash at the baseball game. I got my wife. They're all waving at me. Just in time to play. Wonder if the mic is picking him up yelling. I like it when they come to these games. It's also fun when they're at the bad games too. Helps keep me grounded that doesn't matter what happens in the game, I get to go home to those people up there. I love hearing him yell. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this brief little history of my family and how we became to be. I'm sure I'll talk more about them because they are my life. I wonder if you can see her bright pink cast up there in the stands. This is Cheater Cage Ryan signing off for another Last Line episode. Again, I hope you enjoyed hearing about my family, and keep on being the best version of yourself you possibly can. There's my bee walking with me. Do what? It's a little broken, but it still works. Okay, we're gonna push this door open right here, okay?